All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. My name is Lutz Norwich. Just after 4 o'clock in the northeastern part of the United States. I'm glad you're all here with us today. Don't forget the number is 512-543-4662. Excuse me. 512-543-4662. And we'll be here just before 6 o'clock when Rizal McKee takes over his fine show. Don't forget Kevin Dixon, Monday nights from 7 to 9. But soon to be 6 to 8 because it's approaching that time of year, NFL football season. And Betty, whenever she's ready, but I'm glad that she's doing a lot of traveling for her reports. So hopefully, she'll be back soon. She'll be able to do her show. And she does a fine job at it too. All right, so we got a lot to discuss here. I'm gonna bring in my crew. Oh, don't forget, you can also check us on YouTube. Remember, go to YouTube and type in the Enhanced Sports Show, and you'll hear the show in its entirety. All right, so I'll bring in my group in here. I'll start with Steve Davidson. I think it's a number. Can you hear me, Steve? Good. 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 I didn't mute myself. Steve Kent. All right. Diane. Mike. All right. Okay. Don't mention that on the air. Matthew. All right. Good. All right. So we got a lot to discuss here. I might go a bit off of what I normally do because I found some interesting articles today. When I was going through notes for the show here, as I as I normally do. So I'm going to start off with something I found quite interesting for today. All right. Well, all right. Starting off with a question here. Now, first of all, another debate has popped up with who is the greatest NBA player of all time. Now, of course, most majority of this generation would say Michael. Well, from my generation of Michael Jordan, and this generation of LeBron James. Right. Right. Okay. Now, most fans, of course, would say Jordan is number one, but a growing number of people think LeBron is number one. Then again, it's kind of like a generational thing when you really think about it. I mean, in the 80s, yeah, 90s, it was, Jordan, scoring for Chicago Bulls and, of course, won 6 NBA titles in 9 years and broke all kinds of records, making Chicago into a powerhouse. But people, um, there are people thinking that some other notable names got shortchanged. For one instance, say Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. Well, look, he did lead the Lakers to 5 titles in his 20-year careers, and other numerous accolades as well. Magic Johnson even said that he should be considered in this debate. That Kobe should be on this list too. Bryant has been possibly one of the most skilled players, or at least one of the most skilled scorers in the game history. He could score from the outside. He was a great finisher in the basket. Kind of like the Mario Rivano of the NBA because he was a great closer too. Right, right. So, um, and he also had some incredible footwork as well as some head and shoulder fakes, which that was all he was known for. And he had an excellent mid range of the game, which most of the players in the modern scorers did not have. So think about that. And when it came down to crunch time, well, Brian usually delivered. Like I said, like Mariano. In a 2010 interview with the LA Times, the late coach Dr. Jack Ramsey, excuse me, who coached the Blazers to their only title way back in 1977 when dinosaurs still ruled the earth, and was considered one of the greatest teachers, said that Bryant had become the greatest clutch shooter in the game. Again, that might be a matter of opinion here. Especially among yeah. He's also a great passer who maximized his teammates, especially big men, and evolved into a great leader who emphasized his teammates as well. Anyway, should he might not be the greatest player ever, but he should be right there in the conversation, such as Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Larry Bird. All right, group. Let me ask you this: where do you think that Kobe Bryant is on the list of the greatest basketball players of all time? Steve Davidson, I'll start that with you. Number three. All right. Well, just for laughs, who do you think is number one, number two? As if we didn't know. You would take Bill Russell. Yeah, I guess a lot of people from from this group in the 60s and 70s would say Bill Russell. Okay, sure. Probably the greatest basketball player of all time, Diane. Yeah, please don't make me throw up on the show here. Ugh. Anyway, but 12, 13 titles and 14 titles in 16 years, whatever it was. I mean, he had all kinds of records, especially with rebounds and everything. So yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give you on that, Steve. I mean, it's got to be right up there. Steve Kent, where do you think Kobe ranks on the list of all-time greatest players? Right. Different era. Yeah. Yeah. Over LeBron? Wow. Yeah. Yes. Right. Which one, Paul or Mark? Yes. Steve, which, yeah, no Fulton. Yes, Robin. Yes. 81. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. You were mentioning the Gasols. Which Gasol did you mean, though, Steve? Did you mention Paul or Pal? Okay. Yes. Hmm. Right. Well, you need that. Right. Okay. I'll give you that. Uh, Mike, where do you think Kobe ranks on your list? Wow. You're as old as I am, and you think Bill Russell? Okay, all right. Uh, okay, Matt. Matt. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Even though I want to, but even though I'm not a Celtics fan, but yeah, I know. Diane, your thoughts on Kobe? Where should he be? Oh, nice. Well, I still think that Jordan has to be actually it's a tough one. I would have to say Russell number one, Jordan number two, and Kobe number three. That's the way I look at it. You can argue me all you want, people. You can argue me all you want, but that's the way I look at it. Yeah. Of course, everybody. Of course, like I was, it's a generational thing too, because depending on where you grew up and who you followed back then, like in the '60s it was Russell, in the '70s it was Dr. J, the Sixers. '80s was the Bird, Jordan. Well, not Jordan, Johnson, Kareem. '80s was a stepping stone for the NBA, no question. Oh, it's Atlanta Hawks. Remember that Wheaties commercial? Never. Yeah, like it's '80s was a stepping stone for the NBA because those players saved the league from going under back then because the NBA was in bad shape in the '70s. But the whole crop of new players, just like how the WNBA is flourishing now, 40 years ago the NBA was flourishing thanks to these players. Some of you were born in the '80s might be too young to remember that, but I remember it very well. Probably not. All right. So moving on. Don't forget it. We're talking about back in the mid '80s. All right. So all right. Uh, gotta go back to the other. Gotta go back to another page here. All right. Well, but a lot of trouble with Steve Kerr, and there was some controversy of why he didn't use, some players in the Olympic tournament, which I understand, of course. Oops. Let me go down here. All right, because this is leading controversy, and I think it's also why it led to him, you know, leaving. He's not because I don't think he's gonna be coaching the 2028 Olympic team in Los Angeles. That's probably one reason why right there. So let me read it to you. By the way, about 5:10, we're going to go to our college football predictions for the upcoming week. So stand by for that. Right. What? I think I lost it. Okay, here we go. Steve Kerr risked the Celtics fans everywhere when he chose to sit out Jason Tatum in the semifinal game against Serbia in the Olympics. He also miscast Tatum's role in the rotation, leading to some poor performances from the recent crowned NBA champions. During a recent episode of his 7 p.m. podcast, Carmelo Anthony admitted that he was not impressed with how Kerr treated Tatum throughout the tournament. The former star of the Knicks and Nuggets star accepted. Star accepted. Thank you. That Tatum was low in the rotation, but believes that Kerr failed to verbalize that role to Jason. At least I understand why he may not have used Jason. I don't like how he went about it. You have a 40-minute game. Okay, I understand that. You're saying he's not going to be playing. Fine. Just be honest with it. If this is where we have a lack, this is where we have lack of communication. Because we have been, and we had that in Vegas the whole time. Talk to me. You're ready to see it on the depth chart. Talk to me in private. Let's get, let me get myself together. Despite his struggles, Tatum collected his second gold medal in Paris. However, it is fair to assume that he would be uh, driven to improve himself once the new season begins. After all, his reputation took a dive due to the treatment of Kerr and his coaching staff. Yeah, well, anyways, it would be interesting to see how Tatum approaches the new season and what direction he takes. It reminds us that he's still one of the top 10 players, current top 10 players in the NBA. So yeah, I don't get the fact that why he wasn't used that much. I mean, he is a great player, and of course, he did win with the Celtics. Yuck. So I don't know. I think Kerr might have been I think Kerr wasn't misused. I think Kerr didn't give him a fair shake at all. We have another caller here. Would you state your name, please? Would you speak up? Speak up, please. Yes, a little bit louder. Yes. Who are you? Isaiah. Hey, hey, pal. I see you again. Well, here. All right. Yeah, you guys remember Isaiah? Yeah. Right. So, all right. So, I kind of agree with that because with the way Tatum was, I think Steve Kerr was wrong in not using all that much, and I can understand the anger from him. So, Steve Davidson, what do you make of those comments? Right. Okay. We're jealous of what? Yeah. You're not supposed to be jealous of your players, though. You're supposed to encourage them, right? Yeah. I think that's one reason why he's stepping down. All right, Steve Kent. Yeah, your thoughts. Yes. Devin Booker. Okay. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did do that. Yes. 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 Yeah, right. Yeah, yes. I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. That could be. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts? Going once, going twice. Isaiah, how about you? Since you haven't been here in a while, any thoughts? Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. All right. I like that. Now, speaking of what you were just mentioning, Steve, just a second ago, now actually there are three candidates that could be a replacement. Two are the obvious, so I'm just gonna run this down here. Kerr, of course, who took over in the 2022-2024 cycle during his time and led the team at the 2023 FIBA World Cup and the 2024 Olympics, following in the footsteps of Greg Popovich. Before Popovich, who coached the team USA to a gold medal in 2020, uh, Coach K of Duke led USA to three as Olympic gold medals in 2008, 2012, and 2016. So that's good there. Chuck Daly also gave a gold medal as well. So moving on, there are a few Doc. Okay, yeah, yeah. What's up, Doc? So there are a few candidates that are potential for Team USA. There was four. For some reason, I couldn't find the fourth one. So I'll run down the top three. All right, number one. Excuse me. Number one, as Steve Kelly mentioned, Eric Spoelstra, currently viewed as a strong intention favorite, served as assistant coach for Team USA under Steve Kerr. Okay, good choice right there. Kerr is likely to retire as Team USA head coach, which means a new voice to lead for 2020 in Los Angeles. Spoelstra is viewed as a strong favorite for Team USA, next in line following Greg Popovich. Yeah, he's going to come back. The Miami Heat head coach has a proven track record, including two NBA championships with the Miami Heat. Sure. And the era with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. His experience coaching high-profile players makes him well suited for the national team as he has demonstrated an ability to effectively manage different personalities, assuming you have one. Oh, under his leadership, that was a joke, folks. The Heat have achieved a massive 750 and 527 regular season record and a respectable 110 and 79 record in the postseason through this past season, along with 9 divisional titles and 6 conference championships. Okay, that's good credentials right there. Number 2, Tyronn Lue. I don't know about this one. Tyronn Lue also served as a coach for Team USA during the 2022-24 cycle. Is another strong candidate. Lue was currently the head coach of the LA Clippers, sorry, and has significant experience in coaching at the highest level, including the Cavaliers to an NBA championship in 2016, which was shocked everybody. Since taking over the Clippers in 2020, Lue has compiled a 184-134 record and guided the teams to the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Too bad they can't get out of the second round. Number 3, here's what I think we overlooked, guys. How about Dan Hurley? Think about it. Just think about that. Hurley, the head coach of UConn, is a potential candidate. Hurley has led UConn to back-to-back national championships in the past 2 years. Love it. And it has an incredible, ready for this, 141 and 58 record in 6 seasons with the team. Now that's no slouch. Although he has gained a NBA interest, which he turned down, he remains in college coaching and originally signed a 6-year, $70 million deal to stay with UConn. So that was, I think that one we overlook. I mean, I think Hurley has a great track record, and I think he also be a great candidate to coach Team USA in 2028. I forget what the fourth one was. Does anybody remember about the fourth candidate that was in there? Because I know there was one, but it disappeared from my notes as usual. What's what's the name, Steve? Need a name. Yeah. Okay, we'll get back. All right. So what does everybody think about? So what does everybody think about maybe Dan Hurley taking over as head coach for Team USA? Or do you think that is, or as somebody think, do you think Eric Spoelstra is the clear favorite? All right, Steve Davidson, let's start with you. All right, Rogers here. Good. Steve King, you're still gonna go with Spoelstra? Hmm, I see. Uh-huh. I see. All right. Okay. I like logic. I like logic. I use logic all the time. Maybe too much. Matthew, if you had to choose, who would you take for coaching Team USA in 2028? Spoelstra, Lou, and Hurley. 3 for 3. Mike, which one? Well, no, we're discussing coaches who are going to take over for Steve Kerr in 2028. I'll read the names again. Spolstra, Lou, and Hurley. Okay. Diane. Isaiah. Roger. Well, okay. I guess the majority is going with Spolstra. I understand your reason for it, but I'm going against the green, and I'm going to go with Dan Hurley. I mean, look, he does wonders for UConn. I mean, I get the reason why he's staying, but I think with his track record and everything, with two championships and the way he's taking UConn back to a powerhouse, I think he'd be a great candidate to coach Team USA in 2028. Tyronn Lue, forget it. So, but of course, we won't know until about maybe 3 years from now. So we got plenty of time to think about before this happens. But I'm gonna go with Hurley. Even though I think maybe you're right that it's going to be Spoelstra, but we'll see what happens. We got a long way to go. All right. Going to WNBA for a minute. The season's winding down. Now, the New York Liberty are having a fantastic season, 25-4, with about 11 games to play. Now, I think they're going to be a shoe in for the finals unless something ridiculously happens. They hit a stumbling block somewhere, but I don't see it really happening. So I really think that Liberty is going to cruise in the playoffs and get to the final game. Question is, who do you think they will play? Now, only the top eight make the playoffs. So I'm going to run down the top eight right here, okay? Excluding, well, we got the Liberty. We have the Connecticut Sun at 21-7, the Minnesota Lynx at 21-8, the Seattle Storm, 18-10. It was in Seattle Slew. The Vegas Aces, two-time champions, 17-11. No, I'm a little shaky about that one. Phoenix Mercury at 18-14. The Fever, despite the fact Caitlin Clark's presence, I don't think it's going to be enough. I really don't. They're 13-15. Chicago Sky, no. Look, I got nothing against Angel Reese, and the Chicago Sky, but I don't even think they're even deserving of even making the playoffs. I know it's top eight, but with a record like that, I don't really see it happening. And sorry about your Washington Mystics, Steve. Sorry. All right. So, and the Lynx won the Commissioner's Cup not that long ago. Yeah, well. All right. So I think basically from the top four or whatever, who do you think would be a good candidate for the Liberty to play against in the final series? Steve Davidson, I'll start that with you. You're gonna go Minnesota. Okay, Commissioner's Cup winner. I understand. Steve Kent. No, actually, I don't think it. I don't think it's a little bit different because remember they don't do an East West conference. They don't go by that. They just go like the top eight teams. Mm. All right, Mike. Okay, well, I think the Liberty should make it unless something ridiculous happens. All right. Yes, Diane. I seriously doubt that, but okay. I mean, there is no right or wrong, but when you think about it, I don't think Caitlin Clark could do it by herself. But okay, I'll take your answer. Roger. Roger. You really think the Aces can try and make it three in a row? Okay, well, they got some work. They got some work to do, but I see your point. I see your point. Yeah, but there's only one conference. There's no East West here. Isaiah, Matthew. Yeah, but who would they play against? All right. Did I get anybody besides me? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a tough one here, but you know what? Uh, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Seattle. That's a tough team right there. So I wouldn't knock Seattle Storm out yet because they could be a very dangerous team. So keep your eye on that for the next couple of weeks. Oh boy. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. By the way, I'm glad nobody's watching the Yankee game here because it's not good right now. As the Rockies are up 9-2, I think we're in the eighth inning now. Yeah. And for you little leaguers, little league fans, well, one down, one to go. Chinese to Taipei beat Venezuela 4-1 in the earlier game today. So that means tomorrow they're going to face the winners of the American Championship. Oops, yeah, they'll face the winners of the American Championship between Florida and Texas, and it should be a good battle here. The interesting thing is that there has not been any team outside the U.S. who has not won the Little League World Series since 2017. Kind of hard to think about that. I mean, I thought it was before that. I mean, the U.S. has won every year since 2018. Now we can't count 2020 because that was canceled by you know what, so we had to eliminate that. And 2021 was only played to U.S. teams only. So whoever faces the U.S., they're going to try and make their way into history and become the first foreign team in the last 7 years to win the World Series, to win the College World Series. And right now, Texas is up over Florida 2-0 as we're in the top of the third. I kind of like, well, I have actually have ties to both areas, Texas and Florida. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I know. I know. Again, another New York team doesn't make it. Thomas River. Yep, I remember that very well. I think a major leaguer came out of that as well, if I remember. Todd Frazier. That's right. Too. The White Sox. Oh boy. I'll get to that comic tragedy in a little bit. Oh boy. So, who do you like here between Florida and Texas? All right, Steve. No, I'm gonna go with Mike first. Mike, who do you like? Diane. All right, Roger. Isaiah. Okay. I'll give the whole Southeast if you want, but all right. Steve Davidson. Okay. Steve Kent. Okay. Well, let's see. I have ties to both areas because my brother's down in Florida, but they also lived in Texas at one time. But yeah, I think I gotta go with Texas. Either way, it should be an interesting game, and of course, tomorrow is the championship game. I don't know about you guys, but I always liked watching the Little League World Series, even though I'm of a certain age now, which I'm not going to say. Then again, some people already know that. But I've always enjoyed it. They're playing for the pride. They're playing, for the love of the game, not for a contract or money or anything or endorsement deals. They're playing it for the love, and that's what it should be all about. Especially Yeah, I mean, because some of these might be the major leaguers of the future. That maybe, but at least they're doing it for the pure reason, just for the pure love of the game, and that's what's important. I think that's what's missing from baseball and pretty much of all professional sports, in recent years. So it's always nice to see that these kids playing with heart and and it really shows how they really do appreciate the game as long as a few people don't get stick their noses in it. you know. But I've always liked it. And I always watch it every year, even though at my age. But I still enjoy it. And that's what I'm gonna say about that. You know, because the one thing you should do it for is for the love. Just like I do this show, I do it for the love of it, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm still here. Thank goodness. All right. I got some more WNBA news. Last night, Angel Reese became the first player in league history to score 20 rebounds in consecutive games. The star rookie, who could be a rookie of the year candidate, and just might do that, made her mark this season with 13 rebounds to go on, 13 points, right, to go on 20 rebounds, despite the Sky losing to the Sun. Died. Now you know who Angel Reese is. She plays for the Chicago Sky. Back on Sunday, 20 rebounds and 19 points in a loss to the Phoenix Mercury. They lose, but she still does great. Okay. The last time a rookie did that in the NBA was Shaq 30 years ago. I'm getting really old. With the Orlando Tragic, diving the Magic. He had 21 points against the Celtics and 25 points against who, Steve? Yeah, yeah, of course. That was your cue. Okay, like Reese, O'Neal played at LSU as college ball and has been a big supporter of her. And Reese led LSU to a national championship in 2023. Her double double on Friday was her 21st of the season, putting her one behind Tina Charles with 22 in a rookie season of 2010 for the Connecticut Sun. I remember that. Good news is though there's still 12 games left in the regular season for her. Reese is averaging 13.6 points and 12.6 rebounds. But the eighth place Sky have lost 3 of their last 4 since returning from the Olympics. Now at 11-17, they have a one-game lead over the Atlanta Dream for the last playoff spot. The good news is the next 3 games are at home against the Fever, Aces, and Mystics, although I didn't put them in the right order. See, that's what I mean, guys. 11-17 and 8th spot, I don't think that's going to be enough, to get into the finals. I mean, yeah, stranger things have happened, of course, especially with that because, you pour on during the postseason, and you do it at the Alaskans regular season, make a run of it. But I just don't see how that's going to happen with that if they make the playoffs at all. First thing I see how to do is against Atlanta because 11-17, that's not really very confident going into a postseason, mind you. So that's why I was a little skeptic about that. But nonetheless, I get it. And speaking of Tia Charles, she became the second all-time leading scorer in WA history. She scored 12 points and 17 rebounds as the Dream defeated the Mercury on Wednesday night 72-63. Alicia Gray scored 21 points, and Ryan Howard scored 19 to lead Atlanta to their third straight win. Unfortunately, it's 10-17 overall, which doesn't really do much. Oh boy. Charles was the top overall pick in 2010 out of UConn, the powerhouse women's team. He opened the fourth quarter with three-pointer from the top of the key that moved past Tina Thompson, who had 7,488 points. Charles now has 7,491 at the time of this article. Still has a way to go to pass my favorite player of all time. Well, one of them. Diana Taurasi with 10,500, who had a late three-pointer in the game. Charles Basket broke the 48-48 tie and started a 17-2 run that blew the game wide open. Reserve player Maya Caldwell had all 6 points after the third from Charles. Gray made a jumper with 2 free throws and made it 65-50 with 5:29 to play. When she beat the Sun on Sunday, they opened the fourth with a 19-2 run. Okay. Kayla Cooper led the Mercury with 22 points. Brittany Griner with 14. The Mercury were out rebounded 47-33, including a 16 points the 3 run on the offensive side. Atlanta held Phoenix to just 2 of 15 in the first quarter to take an early 19-6 lead. However, the Dream had a nightmare in the second quarter by missing their first 11 shots and back-to-back 3-pointers by Cooper. Cooper then gave the Mercury a 1-point lead, 25-24. Gray, however, made a pair of 3 throws, and Howard helped with another 3, and the Dream climbed back in the lead by 8. So the 3-game winning streak came against the Sun, the Storm, and the Mercury, all teams with winning records and playoff positions down the stretch. Now Atlanta is 1 game out of the playoff spot and will face the Mercury tonight. So congratulations on that, but still, that's kind of like a I don't see too much hope for that. It's the last few weeks of the season, so Chicago really has to get their act together here because if they can't jump past Atlanta, I don't see them doing it at all. And I'm just trying to find some. Yeah, I kind of feel bad though for Caitlin Clark with Indiana Fever 13-15. I mean, okay, it's not a terrible record, but it I think it's a little bit misleading. I mean, she has broken all rookie records, but the record overall for them doesn't show it. So it's going to be kind of hard, with her going in the hopes of the postseason. Well, good luck. No, well, one person can't do it alone, Mike. You have to factor that. How's the game now? Ugh. All right, he's there, but he's just having a little trouble with Mike. Yeah. With the way that game was going, though, oh, yuck. I mean, there are losses and there are ugly losses. Speaking of, got some pretty bad, got some little uh, down news here. Pitcher Paul Blackburn left last night's game against the Padres in the third inning after he was hit on the wrist in the third inning by a line drive by David Peralta. Ugh. Let's start at Blackburn. Blackburn suffered a bruised hand and will undergo additional testing if he hasn't done so already. With his arm and was hit on a ball that chromed his second baseman Jose Iglesias, who threw out Peralta. Well, at least that was good. Blackburn sat on the ground and motioned to his right wrist. Catcher Francisco Alvarez came to check out on him, and he was tended by the training staff and came out of the game. He was replaced by Ryan Stanek as the Padres were leading 4-0. Blackburn is 5-3 with a 4.19 ERA, and the Mets, of course, are hanging around, staying in contention, but still are 5 games behind the Braves for to take over second in the wild card spot. 2.5. Okay, but Philly is 5. Philly is 5 ahead of the Braves. That's right. Well, we got some. Oh, by the way, before I forget, don't forget next week is a different day, but at the same time, 4 to 6 on Sunday, September 1st. So just make a note of that, okay? So you don't forget. Right, next Sunday. One time only, guys. One time only. All right. Well, show me the money. He's at it again, and he's the fastest player in the majors to join the 40-40 club, and he did it with a grand salami over the Rays last night. It appeared now. Here was the thing. It appeared that Ohtani would not get another at bat unless the game went to extra innings. But at the bottom of the ninth, oh boy, what a way this was. Will Smith led off and was hit by a pitch. Then Tommy Edman followed with a single. I don't mean that Will Smith, guys. Okay. Sheesh. After a sac fly by Miguel Rojas, a ground out by Gavin Lux, Max Muncy pitched it to Enrique Hernandez and drew a walk to load the bases and set up Ohtani for the grand slam. Ohtani is 40th stolen base this season in the fourth inning after swiping second after a leadoff single Tyler Alexander, and put him one swing away from joining the exclusive club. He entered Friday with 39 home runs and 39 steals on the year. He joined the 30-30 club earlier this month with a 10-0 win over the A's. Well, losing to the A's, what to expect? Making him the third fastest to that mark. He did it in 108 games, one behind A Rod in 1998 with the Mariners, and 18 behind Eric Davis, who did it in 90 games way back in 1987. Ohtani is the sixth player to join the 40-40 club, joining A-Rod, Ronald Acuna, who had 60 stolen bases last year, um, Alfonso Soriano, A-Rod, Jose Canseco, and some guy named Barry Bonds. Never heard of him. So, yeah. What? Just kidding. So, quite an accomplishment for Shoni Ohtani. I mean, all right, yeah, he hasn't won a World Series yet, but he's, but it's been a great move for the Dodgers, and they're helping him. They're helping that team, stay alive in the postseason chase, which I think is a given, pretty much. But nevertheless, quite an accomplishment for the star player. As we say here, show me the money. Any thoughts? Yes, he is. Oh, right. Yes. Oh, no question. Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those of you who thought that Florida State was gonna walk all over Georgia Tech in today's game, yes, again, because Georgia Tech won on a 44-yard field goal with no time left. Oh wow, what a game! What a game! All right. Before I go to anything else, you got any WWE stuff, Steve? Nothing. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yes. All right. Diane, any trivia? Okay, good. Speak up. Got. I gotta say, Bobby Hall. Yeah. No. Oh, Suter. Was it Suter? Mm. So that's where they got Slapshot from the movie. Okay, I get it now. Good movie though. Good movie. Yep, I remember that. Yeah. Gordie Howe. Really? Okay. 1936, six overtimes. 1936 had it. Yeah. 19, yep. Montreal and Toronto. Detroit Ravens. Yeah, defunct team. Six, and that record is get well. They're defunct now. It's just the Montreal Canadiens now. But that record is that record is yeah. Yeah, I did, but we'll get to that later. I think your Commanders are in trouble too. One more, okay, okay, that's it. Oh, before I do anything else, I got to put up a little bit of a rant here. Uh, there's got to be a change, of course, to Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN, and I'm not happy about it. Okay, I'm not too crazy about RJ3, although he is good. But how could you get rid of Sam? I mean, really, she was the best anchor on the show. I mean, and everybody else made a great contribution. I know it's all about money and whatnot. She was the highest paid of the show, but how could you get rid of Sam? I mean, that really burns me up. I mean, Sunday NFL Countdown will not be the same this year. And still, you got Lee Corsko, who's 90 years old, doing the college football show. Does this make any sense? Mm. Well, I guess something can find those two jobs somewhere else, or maybe they'll go to Fox. But I don't think it was right. I always enjoyed watching them on Sunday mornings, right before the football kickoff, and it just really just irked me when that announcement was made. I should have brought up last week, but didn't have a lot of time. All right, so now we're going to go to our college football predictions for next week, starting with Thursday's games. Now, I can't do them all. I can't do not get every game because we're short on time, and it would take probably till next week to do them all. So we'll do the top 25 and a few local ones. All right, so we're going to start with Thursday, and we're going to start with number 11, Missouri or Missouri versus Murray State. Steve, Missouri. Mike, just in time. Alex, we're doing college football predictions for next week. So who do you got? We're going to start with Missouri and Murray State. All right. Oh, okay. Who was I going to go next? I was going to go to Matt. Yeah. Uh, don't underestimate. Remember today's game. Right. Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy. You make it unanimous. Missouri or Missouri or some case. Yeah. Change mine. Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah. And of course, or some call it misery. Oh boy. All right. All right. That's true. Yes. All right. Number 22 will be another blowout. Kansas against some team named Linwood. I think we can all agree that Kansas is going to win this game hands down, right? Right. All together? Yes. All right. I will. I'll look up again. All right. Moving along. Number 24. This should be another easy one. North Carolina State versus Western Carolina. Steve, Mike, Roger, Matt, Isaiah, Jimmy, Alex, Diane. Making it unanimous again. All right. Okay, moving on. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I'm going by rankings first, then we'll get to the other ones. Ah, all right. I guess you can call us about for bragging rights, sort of. Number 12, Utah against Southern Utah. Okay. Steve, Mike, Jimmy, Roger, Alex, Isaiah, Diane. Did I forget anybody? Oh, Matthew, Matthew. Okay. So we're all on the same page here. How about that? Yeah, let's see where we go for next one. Okay. All right. Here's another laugher. Oklahoma. This is Friday now. Oklahoma 16th against Temple. Oh boy. Steve. Yeah. Mike. Okay. Matthew. Isaiah. Roger. Jimmy. And Alex. Wait, Diane. I thought she was gonna do it. I didn't think. Okay. Well, that's what I was waiting for. Otherwise, I have to do it. Otherwise, I have to do it and make a fool of myself. But I'm going to Oklahoma anyway. Ugh. Thanks, Diane. You're saying for embarrassing myself. All right. Next. Okay. All right. Nothing else on Friday major wise. So move down to Saturday. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is gonna be a good game. In the words of Keith Jackson, oh no, of identity for you on Saturday for a beautiful game of football between Georgia and Clemson. That's pretty good. All right. This is gonna be a great. It's gonna be a great game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see much of it. All right, Steve. Who do you got? Mike. All right, Alex. This is gonna be a tough game. This is not gonna be a blowout. This is not gonna be a blowout. Matt. All right, Roger. Jimmy. Alex. All right, Diane. Sorry. I'm gonna go Georgia too, but I'm gonna agree with Alex. It's not gonna be a blowout. Not at all. This is gonna be the game of the day. All right, moving along. All right, interesting game here too. Penn State, number 8 versus West Virginia. Steve. All right. Uh, Mike. Matt. Isaiah. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. Diane. Go Lions. All right. I like it. Where are we now? Where are we now? Okay. Okay. Number 25, Iowa versus Illinois State. Steve. Diane. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way now. Okay. Mike, Matt, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, and Alex. Iowa is playing Illinois State. Right. Okay. Iowa too. Yeah, I'm going Iowa too. All right. Number 15, Tennessee versus Chattanooga. Steve, Diane, Mike, Matt, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, Jimmy, Alex. I guess the words of rest of Illinois, Tennessee. Okay. All right. Another right. Okay. Number 17, Oklahoma State and South Dakota State. Steve, Diane. Okay. Mike, Matt, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, and Alex. Okay, I'm gonna do this anyway. Oklahoma State. You see what I go through every week, guys? All right. Another laugher here, although it's a state battle game. Number two, the Ohio State versus Akron. Steve, thank you. Diane. All right, let me ask you questions. Is there anybody here who thinks that Akron has a chance to beat Ohio State? All together on the count of three. One, two, three. Yeah. So much for my Greek chorus. Okay. All right. Right. All right. Number four, Texas. Yeah, right. That's true. All right. All right. This one might be a here. Listen carefully. Number four, Texas against Colorado State. This might not be a game that everybody thinks is gonna be a blowout here. So think about this for a minute. Steve, your thoughts. Texas, Colorado State. Texas, Colorado State. All right, Diane. All right, Mike, Matt, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, and Alex. Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. Colorado. It may look like a blow on paper, but I don't see it happening. I think Texas is gonna win, but it's not gonna be what everybody thinks it's gonna be. Yeah. All right. In the Battle of the Sunshine State, we got number 19 Miami against Florida. This should be good. Steve. All right. Diane. Mike. All right. Matt. Matt. Oh, boy. Okay. Isaiah. I figured you'd say that. Roger. Jimmy. What a surprise. And Alex. This was a tough one for me. But I think I'm gonna go with the upset here. We're gonna go with Florida. Yeah, yeah. Either way, no, but Florida's not terrible either. Don't knock it. Yeah, right. No. Okay, okay. Moving on. Number 6, Ole Miss versus Forum, another lapper. I think we all say Ole Miss is gonna win this one hands down, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Another comic tragedy here. Ole Miss versus. Oh wait, no. Kansas State versus UT Martin. Oh boy. Anybody who thinks Kansas State is not going to win. Okay. Same here. Oh. Texas. Number 5, Alabama, Western Kentucky. Steve, I know who you got, so I don't have to mention that. Diane, have you been taking, have you been taking notes from Steve? Right. Yes. Yes. Right. Matt. Right. And so I know too. Isaiah. Oh, of course. Steve. Isaiah. Roger. Jimmy and Alex. Okay. Yeah. Kind of close to that. I'll buy that. All right. Moving on. Okay. Oh, here's an interesting game, sort of. Number 3, Oregon versus Idaho. Steve, Diane, Mike. Uh, okay, Matt said the duck. Okay, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, and Alex. Yep, I gotta go Oregon too. All right, this was a tough one here, guys. Listen carefully. Notre Dame number 7 against number 20 Texas A&M. Think about this one, Steve. Which one? Okay, Diane, Mike. Okay, no. Uh, Matt, Isaiah, Roger, Jimmy, and Alex. I'm gonna go with Alex in this one. I think Texas A&M has something here, especially since they're at home. Notre Dame doesn't strike me too much on the road, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, yeah, yes, they will, especially on the road. Okay, number 9, Michigan versus Fresno State. Steve, yes, all right. Diane, wow. Uh, Mike. All right. Matthew. Isaiah. Oh, okay. I said Michigan, Fresno State. Okay. All right. All right. Now, Isaiah. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. So am I. Go blue. All right. That's a 7:30 game. I think I should be for that one. Okay, nothing left for big time on Saturday, so we'll do Sunday. Only one game on Sunday, guys, which should be a good one here. Listen to this one now. Number 23, USC versus number 13, LSU. Steve. All right, Diane. Mike. All right, Matthew. Isaiah. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. This was a tough one. This was a tough one to decide on. I'm gonna go OSU. Okay, yeah, by a slight margin. And to wrap it up on Labor Day, number 10, Florida State, which is coming off a loss to Georgia Tech, faces BC. All right. So Steve, what do you got? Okay. Obvious reasons, obvious reasons. Uh Diane. All right. Mike? No, no, no. Florida State, Boston College. Okay. Okay. Matt, we all. Isaiah, Roger, of course. Jimmy and Alex. You gotta be right about that, especially at home. I don't think that that loss was a shocker right there, although I wasn't really shocked. But I'm gonna go Florida State. All right. And by the way, Texas is up 4-1. Ah, okay. All right. So now we'll do our last of the preseason in the NFL. Whatever games are left. Jets and Giants tonight. So I'm looking forward to that, of course. Yeah. All right. So of the remaining games left, we'll run down. Okay. Listen now. Listen. Okay. We got the Rams. Sorry, that's the Chargers at the Cowboys. That game was on now. That game was on NFL Network. Oh, of course. Um, Jets and Giants, Browns, Seahawks, Panthers. Uh, oh no, that's that game. That game was already done. Um, Titan, Titans versus the Saints. The Cardinals against the Broncos, and the Patriots against the Commanders. All right, so gang, of those games left, who do you like? Choose one. Choose one game. Just one. Steve, Diane. All right, Major. Okay. Well, I knew that. I knew that from you, Mike. Yeah. All right, Matthew. Okay. Isaiah. All right, Roger. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy. Okay, Alex. Right, Alex. So I thought you guys from the New York area would take that game. You're not supposed to. Yeah, that game was on Channel Two tonight, I believe, or Channel Two or Channel Four. Yes. So I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, and yeah, right. Well, of course not. But okay, so and remember next week we'll run down the full list of games. So this was just for laps for the preseason. All right, so moving on. Maybe we should go back to where should we go here? Okay, just give me a second here. Yeah, I'm glad we got that out of the way. All right, the top men's player. We're going tennis now. The top men's seeded player, Yannick Sinner, will head to the U.S. Open with his steroid scandal behind him. Thank goodness. Sinner tested positive twice. That's right, twice for an antibiotic steroid early this season. Will not be suspended. The International Tennis Integrity Agency said Tuesday that a banned substance they tested positive for entered his system unintentionally through, get this, guys, a massage from his therapist. And Sinner was not at fault. Of all the ways you can get a positive test from your misogynist, okay. Yeah, yeah, I know. This sounds a little bit ridiculous, and it is. Unfortunately, he'll still be fined over $300,000 in prize money that he received from at the BNP Open in Indian Wells while he was competing. He first tested positive. Sinner avoids the suspension. Well, that's good. Sinner first tested positive in March with low levels of metabolic of Chlorostol, the same steroid that the Padres star Fernando Tatis was suspended in 80 games for in 2022. Tatis and Aspire claimed it was from a wigworm medication that was tainted. Okay, I can understand that. If it's tainted, then it's definitely not your fault. You got to be careful, though. Sinner tested positive a week after the tournament and was suspended. He did appeal the ruling, but was allowed to continue to play. The International Tennis Association statement the statement said that the positive tests were a result of a contamination from a support team member who has been applying an over-the-counter spray containing the steroid to their own skin to treat a small wound. This was passed on to Sinner through massage and sports therapy. What a way to get it! What a way to get a positive test. Stupid. Sinner claimed the top of the rankings after winning the Australian Open in January for his first Grand Slam title, and as a plus 200 with the Joker, Carlos Alcaraz, to win the U.S. Open, which begins Monday in Queens. And I think he's got a pretty good shot. Although I wouldn't be, I think maybe Alcaraz may have a good chance too to win. So yeah. See, I told you to get some U.S. Open notes. All right. Just a second here. Yeah, I'm just looking up something here because I think I found something here. All right. Yeah, and what was it? Team USA finished 6-0 with their fifth gold medal. Kerr joins Popovich, Reed Tomjanovich, and Chuck Daly as the only coaches to win an NBA title and an Olympic gold medal. Now, how about that? Yeah. So it's a pretty good way to go out, though. Yeah. I still thought there was four in the for head coaching, but I guess it's only three. Well, three is a crowd anyway, so Oh. All right. The Philadelphia Criers, I mean Liars, I mean Flyers, have weighed forward Ryan Johansson placed on unconditional waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract through a material breach. The Flyers said they had no further comment at this time following Tuesday's announcement on social media. Johansson never appeared in the game for the Flyers since he arrived in March and a trade from the Avalanche that sent defenseman Sean Walker at 2026 round pick to the Avalanche. The Flyers also received a conditional first round pick in 2025. The Flyers placed Johansson on waivers the same day as he was traded to the Flyers and tried to sign him to the American Hockey League, but we're not able to do so. Up it's 4-2 now, Texas, in the top of the fifth. Okay, this is getting interesting. Johansson, Little League. No, no, American final. The American final. U.S. Championship. Yes, yes. I got the game on my streaming set here. Okay. Johansson had a severe injury that required extensive surgery, which had been scheduled. Since being traded to the Flyers, Johansson has remained in good faith with the Flyers, the medical staff, and an authorized third party who did not give his name. Physicians said, uh, Overhart, disappointed. We have disappointed. We've been in contact with the Player Association and defended his rights. Johansson was set to carry an $8 million cap hit for this upcoming season before becoming an unrestricted free agent. Hmm. He posted 23 points with the Avalanche last season and has 578 points in 905 games with the Blue Jackets, Avalanche, Yahoos, you call them the Predators. He was drafted by the Blue Jackets in 2010. He has 60 days to file a grievance over the contract termination with the Player Association, according to the Athletic, which he is likely to do so. Got a tough break here, don't we, guys? The Flyers don't seem like to be getting much better, even from last year. Yeah, considering last year. Yeah, yeah, the basement, more like it. Who is? Yeah, hopefully on this show. Anyway, all right. Well, hockey's public enemy number one, Matt Rempe. Oh boy, had a busy summer between working with George's Lacour on fighting techniques and training with Chris Kreider. Rempe has been keeping himself busy this offseason. Not only has he been training in New York, but he's been rooming with Jonathan Quick. I wonder how that turned out. Anyway, I went back home to Calgary for a month and stayed with my family, including mom. Rempe said at Fanatics Fest, it was great to be home for a while. But a month later, I flew back to Connecticut about a month ago and living with the Quick family. They've been they've been unbelievable. Both the core and Quick have taken me under their wing. I've been training with them in Connecticut, and it's gone very well. For those of you who remember, Jonathan Quick is a two-time stand-up champion with the LA Kings, as he beat both the Devils in 2012 and the Rangers in 2014. Thank you very much. Yes. And that's the last thing I'm going to say about that. Oh, I had one other question I mentioned. This came up a few days ago with the arrival with the Knicks, a new player from the Nets. Where do you think they're going to end up in the conference this year? Last year they finished second, but it was a kind of like a weak, kind of like a second since Boston was so strong. Where do you think they're going to end up this year in the conference? Now we're talking regular season. All right, so Alex, where do you think they're going to be? Yeah, that was the problem. Oh no. Yeah. Train wreck. Train wreck. Okay. Steve, what did you say? Steve, what did you say? Okay. Diane. Uh, okay. Mike. Okay. Isaiah. Roger. I like what you're thinking. I like it. Uh, Jimmy. Yeah. Um, okay, Miriam, you want to give a shot here? How do you think the Knicks are going? Where do you think the Knicks are going to end up this season? What seed in the East? Three. Okay. Well, they say three is a magic number, so yeah, I guess so. Um, I think maybe somebody has a point here. I think whoever said one, I think you're right. I think maybe they can overtake me in Boston. It's not going to be easy, but I think there's a chance that they can overtake Boston for the top seed in the East. Now let's see if they can avoid injury because that's what killed them in the later part of the season and the postseason. So sure, yes, right, yeah, right. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And look at this, guys. All of a sudden, it's now 4-3 Texas. Boy, boy, boy. This is gonna be good. All right, moving on. Florida. All right. I have ties to both, so it's a win-win for me. All right. Getting back to San Diego, man. Right fielder Fernando Tatis took batting practice on the field yesterday and expects to return as in temper after staying the past 2 months with a stress reaction in his right thigh bone. Yowza. It felt good to be back out with the teammates. Why I imagine so. Ramping up. Every day is a step closer, said Tatis before the Mets took on the Padres took on the Mets last night in Game 2 of a four-game series, as both teams are in play of contention. By the way, the Padres won that game 7-0 last night. Oof. Tatis has not played since June 21st and was placed on the injured list on June 24th, although was retroactivated to June 22nd. Manager Mike Schlitt said on Thursday that there was a looser timeline for Tatis to return. I don't have a target date for a return, said Tatis. I think it's more of a conversation between me, my manager, the training staff, and GM AJ Perella. But I can assure you I will be playing next month. So you say. The injury was first thought to be in his quadriceps, but later was determined to be a stress reaction. Either way, not good. Last year, he won Gold Glove and Platinum Awards, and I don't mean by record albums, and that was his first season in right field. Well, they have gold and platinum in records. He was also an all-star shortstop in 2021 before missing 2022 due to the injury and a suspension for using performance-enhancing drugs. Ugh. Before the injury, he was before the injury, he was batting 279 with 14 home runs and 36 RBIs. Thank you, Miriam. The Padres have been 22-8 since the All-Star break and hold down the NL's second wildcard spot, one game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks, who defeated my Yankees in 2001. Thank you very much. Yuck. Yeah. Okay, now, yeah. My what? Oh boy. All right. This just came over the wire actually, so forgive me while I'm moving behind. because I was typing the articles. Yeah, well, your Commanders are nothing to write home about either. In fact, yeah, Washington Browns preseason finale. Okay, all right. So as Steve was mentioning about the Cowboys, I assume you're mentioning about Ron Bland, correct? Yeah. I just found this. Okay, breaking news here. I do mean breaking. The Cowboys will be out All-Star cornerback Deion Bland for 6 to 8 weeks because of a stress fracture in his left foot. If following the timeline, Bland could return mid-October, which would cause to perhaps the first 5 or 6 games of the season. The Cowboys have a bye week on October 20th. Okay, that'll give him time to heal. Bland will undergo surgery for his fifth metatarsal on Monday, according to a source, after reporting soreness following the Cowboys' final practice while in Oxnard, California. By the way, there was a fire um, near the complex, but nobody was injured. Nobody was seriously injured, and everybody was out safe. So thank goodness for that. A year ago, a year ago, Bland led the NFL with 9 interceptions and set a league record with 5 returns for a touchdown to earn All Pro and Pro Bowl and All Pro honors. Thank goodness. The good news is he'll be here for, let's say, the vital games of the year, like past November. Thank goodness. Owner and general manager Jerry Jones said Bland on he said 105.3 The Fan. That's like the fan we have here in New York. Jones said the Cowboys are in great shape at cornerback because of our young guys coming. That is one of the strengths of our whole team in the corner position, in the safety position. Our secondary is outstanding in personnel. The Cowboys will welcome All Pro and All Pro cornerback Trevin Diggs to the lineup for the September 8th opener against the Browns after missing the final 15 games of last season thanks to a torn ACL in his left knee. Diggs returned to full team drills in the last 2 weeks of training. I believe he is. I think it's his brother. Yes, it's his brother. Yes. Yep. So Jimmy will like that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. 13 minutes, guys. Right. Yeah. Right. Uh-huh. A lot. Yes. That word. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Steve, I got some news for you. Steve, I got something for you. It's about your Commanders. How they traded their wide receiver. Yeah, you mentioned the Dotson to the Eagles. For, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. All right. But here's a scary moment. Um, Chicago Bears cornerback Douglas Coleman was immobilized and placed on a stretcher and taken from Arrowhead Stadium and was placed in an ambulance after he was tackled by Colonel Powell in the first play of the second half of the preseason game on Thursday. Coleman has had, as he came up, dying to make the tackle near the Chiefs sideline. The former CFL star went down at impact and was motionless. Ugh, that's ugly. As trainers from both teams rushed to the field to check on him as soon as joined by doctors. as the Mail Car drove onto the field. Bears coach Matt Buffers came over and saw Coleman move his extremities, which is always a good sign, as the medical staff removed his face mask, then strapped him onto the backboard. He was then loaded onto a cart and driven up the tunnel to the corner of the stadium. When I was on the field over there on the Chiefs sideline, he was moving his limbs and gave a thumbs up. Say Buffers, that's a good sign. The good news is the Bears went on to win that game 34-21 on Thursday night, but it came at a cost. Well, I just hope he'll make a complete recovery on that. My brother is a Bears fan, and though we don't agree that they're gonna be a powerhouse team, but I still say that you know yeah, when a player like that gets injured, you gotta put the rivalry in the game aside and hoping that he gets better. So the gloves come off. Right, right, exactly. No, yes. Oh, any time of year it gets heartbreaking. No, part of the game. That's part of the game. Injuries are a part of the game. Always have been. All right. Well, Jets fans, I hate to break this to you, but Aaron Rodgers is not going to play in the final season game. Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. The next time he'll play is when he heads to San Francisco to play against the 49ers on September 9th. Ugh. Rodgers was ruled out for Saturday's game against the Giants by head coach Robert Saleh, who said the Jets will employ the same game plan as in the last two preseason games. Might not be such a bad idea, though. Ryan returns 2 days shy of when he went down with a horrible injury to his Achilles tendon, the first game of last season. There were different reasons last season compared to this one, as Saul explained his approach. I'm not going to get into that, but I do feel like we've gotten so much done within the last 3 weeks against three quality opponents. He was alluding to joint practices against the Giants, Panthers, and Falcons by Saleh's information. Rodgers had and the starting offense, he had 800 reps in training camp, significantly more than last year. The factors are not only why Saleh, those factors are not why Saleh is concerned about the rush factor for his quarterback. He said the four-time MVP is ready for the season. Nothing that has athletic ability does not appear to have diminished for the injury, said Saleh. Rodgers' mobility in the pocket and extending plays have been the bright spot in training camp all season. So he goes on that. I didn't think he was going to play. And remember, in the last game of the season, you really don't bring your starters in anyway. So, or pretty much you do. But I think in this case, with Rodgers not being able to play for a whole year, I don't think it's worth the risk of him playing this week. So, it's best he gets ready for the regular season, even though they're going to get clobbered by San Francisco. But I think I'll take the chance with that rather than preseason. Prepare to get whooped. That's all I can say. All right, now we go to this week in history. By the way, we're holding off on the best and worst moments until September, until the September 1st show. So if you were wondering why we're not doing that, now you know why. All right, you guys still with me? Okay, I thought it went dead for a minute. Okay, I thought my speaker went dead. All right, okay, there we go. I'm here. Hmm. Did we get, did we get somebody else in here? No. Oh, Miriam. All right, so we'll go now to this week in history. More recent. I think we're gonna try for more recent history though. Oh, here's something interesting. In 1912, a ticker tape parade was held in New York City for Jim Thorpe and his victorious U.S. Olympians. Why not? 1918, Chicago Cubs win the earliest pennant ever uh, on September 2nd. Oh, one more question, guys. With the way the Chicago White Sox have been this season, atrocious they've been, do you think they're going to hit 100 losses before September 1st? Okay. Yeah. Because they got 98 losses now. So I think as a given they will hit 100 before we go on the air September 1st. Oh boy. All right, more recent. Okay, that's not what I want. 19. Let's see here. Oh, 1972. Gordie Howe and Jean Beliveau are inducted in the Ice Hockey Hall of Fame. Beliveau played for the Montreal Canadiens. 1975. Giant Ed Halleck no hits the Giants 6-0. 1979. NFL fans 60,916 shows all Patriots logo over new. All right. 1983. Reds Pete Rose ends consecutive games played at 745. Mm-hmm. However, on this day in 1989, Pete Rose is suspended from baseball for life for gambling. So to put it this way, you're out. I had to do that. All right, 1992. Oh, you want to talk about a laugher here? The Cleveland Browns suffered their worst preseason loss ever to the Minnesota Vikings by the score of, listen to this, guys, 56-3. Yeah, but it was only preseason. Yeah. 1993, Padres scored 14 in the first against the Cardinals. Wow. That was the year before the strike. All right. 2004, future eight-time Olympic gold medalist winner Usain Bolt of Jamaica finishes fifth in the 200-meter heat in 21.5 seconds, failing to qualify for the second round of the Athens Olympics. Wow. Failed to qualify. You wouldn't hear that from Usain Bolt very much now, would you? I mean, he was considered the fastest man alive. All right. Okay. 2006, after signing a one-day contract with the 49ers, Jerry Rice officially retires from the NFL, and with good reason right there. 2008 Summer Olympics, Beijing, because the most watched TV event ever. Nearly 5 billion people, that's 70% of the world's population, watched the Olympics. I was one of them. You can say that again. 2008, the star-studded Americans basketball team, led by Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul, and LeBron, won the gold medal over Spain, 118 to 107. And they also had the opening, the closing ceremonies that same day as well. And remember, guys, it's only 18 months until the Winter Olympics start, which means the countdown begins in February. All right, guys. So I'm just ready to wrap it up. Been a good show today. We got some good turnout. Once again, thank you for coming by. Don't forget, like I said, next week is going to be Sunday, September 1st. Same time, as always, 4 to 6 p.m. Um, I wasn't gonna change that. So I hope you'll be able to tune in. We'll go through all the we'll go of course through college football. We'll wrap up Little League. We'll do the first full week of the NFL week one season. So I know you got to tune in for that, and among other things that I can find. So on that note, I'm gonna say good night, and of course, happy Labor Day weekend as well next week. I hope you guys can all make it though. So then I'm gonna make way for Rasal. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube. Remember, to go to YouTube and type in theenhancedforceshow.com and you'll hear the show in its entirety. All right, so I'm gonna make way for Rasal. I'm gonna join him in a few minutes. And I don't know, have a good week.